Nini? Hi guys, welcome back to KISE live stream. When you see how something is about to go down, karibuni sana. I hope you're having so far an amazing week. It's Wednesday midweek, and yeah, we're looking forward to the end of the weekend, of course. And as per usual, don't forget to be part of this conversation, that is by leaving a comment, opinions, or any suggestions that you have for us. And thank you again for tuning in. As you can see, I have someone with me. We're about to have an interview. He'll be introducing himself, and then we'll just dig right into the conversation. Karibuni sana. And yeah, we look forward to you sticking up to until the end. So karibu. If you don't mind, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you. My name is Joseph Inungu, and I'm privileged to be here. And currently, I'm working here as a QA, and I'm a graduate from Mount Kenya University, having undertaken Bachelor's in Economic and Statistics, and I'm proud to be here at KISE College. Thank you.
Okay, karibu sana to the show. It's
you.
Your first time here, and we're looking forward to seeing you again and again and again.
Sure.
So why did you do economics and statistics and not any other course?
Firstly, let me say that I believe in following goals, and of course there are those objectives that you grow with. So to me, it has been a passion from the time I have been schooling, and I believe that one day studying economics and statistics was something in me, having doing so well in those of subjects, mathematics, business. So I believed I can be able to undertake them at the university level. And of course, one day I believe, as I'm working here as a QA, I believe in management. I believe in to be one of the best manager, and I believe after I've studied that course, I believe one day I'll be able to come out as one of the best managers in the world.
Wow, you have great goals ahead of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you don't mind, briefly tell us what economics is all about.
As I have said, economics is all about decision making. From the word economics, we find economy. So it involves the study of economy at large. It involves both of the micro and macro economics. That's now the basics of economics. But to be just the outer part now of economics involve now the production, distribution of goods, and of course now the decision that you made to fully satisfy the customers. Economics involve now the study of the market, and now to know how are you going to produce how are they going to be produced, and majorly how now the customers or the consumers are now going to be satisfied. We call it utility, whereby now we produce the consumption to be reached. Now how is it going to ensure that the consumers are fully satisfied from the production. I mean, now economics involves the decision making. So economics is for a decision maker. You cannot be an economist if you are not a good decision maker. So because you have to decide, we are going to produce this out of this input, how are we going to get this output? So I believe economics is all about decision making and understanding how the market at large works.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. If you would have asked me before, then maybe I'll tell you it's about the economy ya kawaida.
No.
And here at KISE, you are serving us as a quality assurance officer.
Okay.
So what is quality assurance all about?
Quality assurance, first of all, allow me now to define maybe for listeners, and of course to every person. When you hear a quality assurance, from the word quality means standard. That and every standard follows a specific objective, because for you to define that something is of quality, you have to also come with a specification that we need this and this and this to be fulfilled for it to be termed as quality, or something which is productive, or something that have fit the standard. So quality assurance involves now the monitoring every operation of the institution, because every institution have its own objective and goals which have to be reached out. So personally here as a QA of this great institution is to ensure that every objective, every specification from class, from the trainers, and everything of this institution have to hit the speculated objective of the institution. So you have to make sure that everything that is going on, every activity of this institution, it is in line with the objective of the school, to ensure that every quality, the education, the system is of high quality. That's the work of a QA.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is a lot of work, but you do it greatly.
Thank
so
you.
I'd assume it's not hard work if you understand what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
And how do you make sure, now that you are, you've talked about quality and all that, how do you make sure that you identify the organizational goals? Like, how do you enforce and develop quality controls?
Sure. As I have said earlier, that every organization has its own objective and goals.
Yeah.
And the work of the QA now is to ensure that the goals and objective of an institution are successful rather. So for me now, as a QA of this institution, one thing I have to do is to identify now the objective and to come up with an enforcement of how now these objectives are going to be monitored or are going to be evaluated for you to come up with the quality services in the institution. Remember, this is an institution and it involves students who are learning. So, and every institution, to bring it on board, it involves a curriculum. So my work as a QA is to identify the curriculum level, how is it, the coverages, and of course now when you have now the coverages, you understand that the timeline they are supposed to be covered, and if they are not covered, then you know that the quality of the system you're offering, or the services you're offering, they are not in line. So you have to ensure that the coverages that are there from the trainers, from everybody, that in line, and now to ensure that the objective of the institution and the goals and what you have to hit, it is in line. So for me, what I've been doing to ensure that we are able to come up with that, we have a lot. For example, we have a register, we have the daily progressive reports. This really ensure, they really help us to follow everything that is going on.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is interesting.
Thank you.
I never expected it to be that detailed.
Uh,
Okay, and what are your strengths as a quality assurance officer?
Thank you so much. Every person has strength.
And weaknesses, yeah?
Yeah, sure, and
But we are focusing on the strengths.
on the strengths.
Yeah.
Personally, as I've said, I'm a graduate in economics, and as I've said, economics are about decision making. And so when you're QA, there's this saying that says a QA is a table of challenges.
Okay.
Because every challenge that is going on in school, you are the one, it's the board on your table, and you are the one to know the way forward on how you are going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So personally, my strength is to be sincere. I'm a decision maker. I am a decision maker. So I have felt my strength really boosting my office, my position, because I found myself in a position where it really requires a person who is a decision maker. And luckily, fortunately, I found myself, I'm a decision maker. So I have felt it working so smoothly, finding that challenges are coming, you need to make a decision, and you are a decision maker. So I consider that strength as a boost in myself.
Like decision making?
Yeah, decision making, where you find that maybe there are things which are not in line.
Yeah, because it's, let me cut you short.
Okay, so fine.
Someone might think, okay, everyone makes decision, but also it matters with the kind of decisions that you make.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. As I've said that I'm a QA in an institution. This is a college, and so it is an institution of learning. And most of the time you find that some of the challenges that you experience maybe from the students as well as from the trainers, and perhaps it require you personally now. For example, you may find there are some of the units which are colliding, there are some of the units which are not in line. Maybe you want to hit a certain timeline, and you find that everything maybe is not in line. And trainers, or rather the students, trainers and the students may refer you as a point of making now the way, because you find that maybe the students and the trainer, they found this thing is not working. How do you solve this thing? So they end up tabling everything in your table. So how do you go about it? So it's for you to sit down ensure that even if the decision making that you're, even if any kind of decision that you're making, you have to ensure that it is in line and is of high quality, because you are the QA of an institution. For example, you may find that some of the units, maybe a trainer may find some of the units are colliding. You may find the students maybe are not maybe cooperating, and you find that that's kind of confusion that's coming. Now, how do you go about that thing?
Yeah.
So it is for you now to sit down, come up with a way of how you're going to solve it, and of course come up with something constructive that cannot maybe hinder the objective of the institution.
Yeah.
So one of the strengths that I have said is that I am a decision maker, and this is what I have felt have literally boosted myself in this office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And are there any specific or certain qualities that one needs to have to be a QA officer?
For you to be a quality officer, number one, as I have said, you have to be very, very, very grown in this level of decision. You have to be very sharp.
Yeah.
Because a QA, you are the one responsible. You are the eye of that institution, because you are the one to ensure that the standards of the institution, they are adhered to. Because yes, you're offering the services, but of course you have to ensure that the services that are being offered to students, they are of high quality, to ensure that the student, when they graduate, they don't just graduate, but they graduate people who have knowledge and people with understanding. Yeah, for you to be a QA, you have to be a good decision maker. As I have said from myself, what I have learned from this office, of course, you have to be a decision maker, and you have to be a person who is so sharp. Above all, also, you have to be a person who is who have intent to learn more and project yourself to new challenges, because QA doesn't move that of a specific challenges. Today you probably there are this one, tomorrow there are this one, so you have to be very flexible. You have to sometimes adjust yourself to accommodate new challenges, and of course to keep on learning, because some of the solution you cannot just learn at a sitting. You have to keep on learning, involve yourself in learning, involve yourself in new challenges, and of course I believe if one day you intend to be a QA, out of that, I believe you can be good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
But I don't think I intend to be one.
Okay.
Maybe the audiences who are watching us.
It's fine.
And another thing is you've talked about challenges and dealing with students and the curriculum and all that. So how are you able to cope with students when they bring problems to you? How are you able to solve them and, give them that assurance that it will be okay?
Yeah, sure. Number one, there's something that we call attitude. And in every situation, what I have learned from my office, one of the challenges that students may be experience, you find it is maybe absenteeism from school. You find maybe students are not attending some of not all.
Yeah.
Some of the students are not attending the school, and this is one of the challenges that we have been having. So in my office, we have introduced what we call an attendance sheet. This is usually filled by the lecturer when a student does not avail themselves. And when you make this list, now you end up following. And when you follow, then that's the time you identify why the student did not come or did not attend the session. And now when you have attended we have now known the reason why they didn't attend the session, then you identify the challenge. For example, you may find some of them did not attend because of their own personal problems.
Yeah.
You may find some because of school fees. And of course, some of them is ignorance. Now, how do you solve this? Because when a student maybe is sick and did not attend a session, you are sure that this student tomorrow will be better and you attend the session. That's not a problem from our desk. But now, how do you cope up with a student who doesn't attend session because of ignorance? And now that's where now the positive attitudes comes in. Now you have to put yourself in the shoes of that student, encourage him positively on the importance of education, importance of attending the school, the session themselves, and above all tell these people, the students, most of them when they are grown up, how do you tell them, how do you approach them? You tell them it's not about just education, it's about the knowledge you get from the course you are attending, because tomorrow you will need it. And at KISE we have seen it working so well, because some of the students you find that they are not being attending session after, but now then you let them come, you identify the challenge, you find them coping so well, and I find it has been so successful.
Okay, and how are you able to build up a positive teamwork amongst the employees and all that?
Yeah, thank you. Teamwork is a cornerstone in every institution, because you cannot fight, you cannot be able to fight one of the enemy when you are not at a team.
Yeah.
I believe every institution have its own challenges, and the success of every institution comes in when you people who are there from the trainers, from the student, and the institution on board, every person, when you are united, I believe you can be able to go far.
Yeah.
So personally, how I can be able now to bring up a teamwork institution is to be able to come up with goals, objectives that involve every person. And of course, when you are coming up with goals and other objectives, involve every person. Let students come up with goals that involve the students, and of course the trainers and every person. Out of that, you cannot face up kind of opposition from every corner, because for example, it's me and you now, maybe we're fighting as a certain challenge, and I let you contribute on the solution, how we can be able to fight, and you allow me to contribute. I believe we can team up and able to fight that kind of challenge, and be able to, that's called now the teamwork. Teamwork involve all of us joining hands and understanding what we want and how we fight it, and of course the approaches they are going to fight up. So I can say that teamwork, for myself, I can involve to let every person be part and parcel of fighting a challenge. Let every person air their own opinion on how they can be able to fight a specific challenge.
Okay, and wow, we've talked about your strength and all that, and I think it will not be fair not to talk about the weaknesses. Do you have any?
Of course, I'm a human being, and every person who have strengths, of course, have weaknesses. But I've been wondering what kind of weaknesses I have, because so far in every institution I've worked, I've not received any complaint. But this one I felt it's a weakness, though in a positive way. For example, I'm a QA here, but sometimes you find yourself, of course, stretching yourself so much in work. You find you go to class, you are monitoring how the operation of the institution are. For example, in the morning, how sessions are being learned, and you find that maybe there's a class with no trainer, and you find myself sometimes tempted to enter that class and maybe teach, and maybe it's a unit in software engineering, and I've said I'm an economics and statistician. So I think that's a weakness, and though in a positive way, and even sometimes. So basically, I can say my weakness is overstretching myself. To be sincere, when the first weekend when I came here, it was on a weekend, and I found every lecturer attend maybe from 8:30 there, and I was here at 7. So I think it's a weekend, but still I'm feeling as if to be there. It's a positive one. So I find yes, I'm supposed to be here at 8, but sometimes it's a weekend, but I'm here at 7. So I think I'm doing the right thing, but sometimes it's a weakness from my side, because even when I came, there was no one. The classes are closed. See, so yes, it's a positive thing, but another it's a kind of weakness. So stretching myself so much, I try on work myself on that.
That's an interesting weakness.
Yeah.
You don't need to work on that. It's a good thing. If you can get to the place, the earlier the better.
But I found myself no one here.
Yeah, you will find that there's negative outcomes of it sometimes, but most of the time it's the positive outcomes.
Yeah, sure.
And how do you stay motivated at work?
I believe motivation first of all comes from inner person. It comes first of all from yourself, because as I've said, as a QA, you find the challenges that are coming. You have to, and every person is looking from you for the solutions. You have to come up with a procedure of how, or a way of how you make yourself get motivated. First of all is that as I've said, I have a positive attitude toward my work, that I love what I'm doing. I'm supposed to do this, and I don't feel it as if it's a punishment. Even if when I receive like 10 challenges per day, I don't feel it is a challenge by myself. I feel that I have a positive attitude, and I love this job, and I'm employed to do this job, and I'm working this job not for myself. The success of what I'm doing, it's for the success of the whole institution. So I have to love it, and I have to adjust myself to ensure that I love what I'm doing, and it's a success. So when I came here, because I was a new person, and maybe to a duty I have not maybe adjusted myself before, and was maybe, I can't say that I was fully experienced. So I have to set some small goals of how I'm going to work you find that you have a burden of work. Now, how are you going to approach it? No, I have to simplify my burden, my challenges, my everything, my work burden. So I have to come up with some small goals. Now, today, with these hours, within 2 hours, I want to have finished this. After 2 hours, I have to finish it. And I found it working so well. I found that duty is so, is simplified. And I adjusted myself to that.
Okay, so motivation comes from the inside.
The motivation comes from yourself, because most of the time you find that the workload which is there, you may not find maybe somebody who will encourage you directly.
Yeah.
So you have to encourage yourself and keep on adjusting yourself toward what you are supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe we've talked a lot about quality assurance and what and what not. So is there any other thing that we've not talked about you want to tell our audience, or a parting shot?
Sure. Of course, as we have said about QA, we have talked about the quality. This is KISE Institute, and we believe in quality. As I've said, we are coming up with ways whereby we cannot just make students graduate or have their own certificates. It's all about coming here and have knowledge. We believe in developing, equipping, and nurturing skills. And so when all of us involve ourselves in developing, when a student comes here, we have different types of even clubs, out of class. We even involve ourselves in out of class activities. For example, we have a talent club. So what is out about that? So we may encourage everybody to join us here. You may find yourself that yes, we have come to study, but we still really in need of your other talent that you have. We develop it, we equip it, and we nurture you. So when you are coming here, you not just have your certificate, you just come out here as a person who have been nurtured, person who have been sharpened, and a person who have acquired a set goal of and a higher level of knowledge for you to cope up outside there. Yeah. So I believe we have a lot of institutions in the world, but when you come to KISE, we don't just let people just come. We really care how they get out, and that's why we have this desk of quality assurance. What do you get? What kind of education do you get? What kind of curriculum are you subjected to? So that's what we are really concerned, and we have seen it work well for the students who have graduated. They are outside. We have seen them working so well because of really monitoring and of course squeezing on what we are giving to the students. So I may encourage every person out there who is watching us, if you want to be nurtured, if you want to be equipped, and you want to be developed with knowledge, with skills, kindly join KISE Institute. This is a place to be.
Okay, all right, guys, thank you for sticking around up to the end or until the end. We really appreciate you. And again, I've told you to be a part of the conversation. You can also leave opinions, suggestions, anything that you want us to answer, or anything that you want to communicate to us. For more information, you can visit our website, that is at Kenya Institute of Software Engineering and Professional Studies, and you'll be guided from there. So if you're out there, you've not yet joined school, you can make inquiries with us. And for location purposes, we are located in Thika Town, that is opposite Thika Stadium, New Jogo House, 3rd and 4th floor. And yeah, for more information, you can also look at call the number. If you're watching us on Facebook, there's a number on our page. You can reach us through that. So yeah, until then, have a lovely evening.